Well, you wouldn't know it by watching my YouTube channel lately, but there are other manufacturers of full-size Star Wars helmets out there besides Hasbro Black Series. Let's get into this. All right, welcome to another episode of Paul's Collectibles. It's good to have you. Thanks for joining me. I really appreciate it. And today we're back to talking about full-size Star Wars helmets again. And this time I have a helmet from a company called Empire Essenials. They're a private company. They're not like Hasbro or one of those things. And I usually deal with them through Etsy. And this helmet is the Turbotank Driver or the Hovertank Driver, depending on which version is canon in your head or from the movie. So I have actually ordered several helmets from this company before, and they do great work. And they've got a lot of different types of helmets from Star Wars that you can get on their Etsy site and on their website, as I understand it. And they offer discounts and sales on a regular basis, especially if you're someone who leaves them a review on their page, or if you've done like a proper video review of their helmets. Now, full disclosure, I did get a discount on this helmet because I had done videos for Matt and Empire Essenials in the past, but I've been looking at this Turbotank Driver helmet for quite some time, and when that discount popped up, I went ahead and grabbed it up. I couldn't resist anymore. So now, as you may or may not be well aware, when I'm dealing with these helmets from these private companies, the main things that I like to look at are the communication and customer service, the packing of the helmet, and yes, believe it or not, packing is actually a thing. I once got a helmet from a guy in California who shall remain nameless, who literally made the helmet and then dropped it in a plastic grocery bag and then dropped it in a box with nothing else. And it was rattling around in there and the box was all torn up by the time I got it. It wasn't Empire Essenials, it was someone else, but still. So we have to look at the packaging. And then we have to look at, obviously, the quality of the helmet. So with that, let's get into this. Okay, right off the bat, if you've seen any of my videos of helmets that I've gotten from Empire Essenials and Matt Blaisdell in the past, you know these guys do a great job on packing, and he did not spare any expense again this time. I love how they spray paint their logo on here, and then on each side, it's got the Fragile Handle with Care Thank You stickers on there. And then on the top, he puts a couple, and he also writes in there, no heavy stacking, if you can see it under the glare there. And it's just a good quality, sturdy box. So I never have any problems getting things from these guys as far as the packing on the outside is concerned. Let's see if he's done the same job he always does on the inside of this box. Okay, so full disclosure, I had a filming glitch and the helmet was in here, but it's not now because I had to refilm a certain part of this video because amazingly, if you don't hit record on the camera, nothing happens. So weird. But anyway, as usual, Matt did a great job. He always puts a flyer in there and he always will customize it. This one says, "Thanks, Paul. Happy Halloween." And it gives you a way to get a hold of him in a number of different venues such as social media and their website. And then of course the receipt. And as always, he puts his helmet in these black pillowcases, which I think is great. It kind of saves the helmet from getting scratched up in a way that you don't want it to get scratched up if it's a weathered helmet and things like that. And then as always, full of the styrofoam peanuts and the styrofoam slabs on all four sides. Once again, great packing. So thus far, packing, good to go, excellent. And communication, I had to contact Matt a couple of times in between and he got back to me right away. So far customer service, awesome as well. But let's get the helmet in front of some lights, which I've already done, by the way, and we'll take a look at it. Okay, so there it is out of the box. And first impressions, very, very happy once again with the work that Matt Blaisdell and his guys do over at Empire Essenials. This helmet is good and thick and sturdy. It's got a good weight to it. And overall, it's really stunning right out of the package. And I think those first impressions are very good. It's got like a matte finish to it. I believe these are 3D printed that he does here. And as you can see, they do a lot of the pre-weathering for you. Down here, you have the vents, which are done very nicely and most likely printed separately and glued in there. There's good weathering, good accents with the black all the way through. The lens is nice and sturdy as well. And this is a good thick resin that they're using there. As you can see, it's got a good weight and a good girth to it, and it just comes out very nicely when you get it out of the box. Now, when I first pulled it out, I thought this was loose, and here's the deal. I have 3 versions of this helmet, and this visor seems to be the thing that trips up most people. Now, the first one I have is from a company I got a few years ago, and they did a very poor job on the visor. It's very, very small, and it doesn't look like it's the correct size for the helmet. Then the other version I have is from a company called Imperial Surplus. You may have heard me talk about them a couple of times as well, because I have the whole suit of armor. Theirs is very robust. It has the 2 layers on the inside, and they did a good job. Now, Matt's here is somewhere in between. Now, if on a scale of 1 to 10, that Galaxy Toys, I think was the name of the company, theirs is like a 2 or a 3, maybe it's no good. And that Imperial Surplus one is probably a 10. It looks right off the movie screen or the TV screen. Matt's over at Empire Essenials here. I think this is probably about an 8. It's really good, it's really robust, and it fits. It's not quite as robust as I think it should be. Now, once again, I know a lot about these helmets, probably too much, frankly, and I've seen a lot of them, so I'm nitpicking. If I didn't tell you that, if you were a casual observer, you probably wouldn't know that that's probably just a little small and needs to come just a little forward and be just a little bit more robust. For what you pay for these helmets and for the quality, though, I don't want you to take that as a complaint. This is just me being 100% honest, but this is why I actually like this one better than the other 2. Check this out. He's got it on there with magnets. And so if you decide that you want to do something different or make that more robust or whatever you'd like, you can take that off, put magnets in there, and then attach it. Plus you can adjust a little bit on how up and down this is. Plus, I imagine that's a brilliant way to put together these 2 separate pieces, because the Imperial Surplus version, when you get it, you have to glue this piece on. It's actually 2 pieces that glue together, and then they glue onto the helmet. So this is another, quite frankly, a pretty ingenious way to attach that. So I love it. And he even bothered to do the painting and stuff underneath there. But as you come around, you can see it's got all of the great markings. Naturally, where dirt and soot would settle in, you see that dirt and soot there. And then we have the telltale telephone on the side there. I love that. And as we come around, you continue to see it's weathered all the way up on top. The lines are weathered here. It's got good accents on the back. Nice and robust and sturdy. This helmet is just, man, it feels like it's a real helmet, not like a prop or something like that. Like you should be wearing this if you're driving one of those turbo tanks. Looks great. And then if we flip it upside down, you can see that they spared no expense making sure that the fake vents and buttons underneath were done. There is this painted on black line here. Sometimes when you get these helmets, the makers will put like a rubber thing here. This is just as good. You can paint this black line on and it looks great. And what I love about Matt and Empire Essenials helmets is they come pre-padded in there, and the visors, when I first got his helmet, I'm not gonna lie, I was a little upset. I'm like, they just duct taped this thing in here. Yeah, I was wrong and I was stupid. This is Gorilla Tape, and it'll stay until you want it to come out. And I thought to myself, you know what, that's actually a better idea than gluing the visor in there, because if you want a lighter or a darker visor or a different material, you just have to pull that tape off, and then you can put your own visor in there as well. So I had to take my word back on that one last time. And as you can see, they always customize their helmets. This one looks like it's Tank 013, and somebody has signed it there. But yeah, just a great, beautiful, good-looking helmet on the inside and the outside. And this is fairly unique. You really don't see that kind of thing. But yeah, so this is gonna look great in my collection. I've been eyeing this for quite a while, and when they offered the discount to those of us who had produced reviews of their products, I jumped on that and got this. Now, the only thing I will tell you about these helmets, other than what we talked about with this, which is almost a non-issue, is I believe these are probably made to order. So I ordered this back in, I think it was July or August, yeah, probably July, and it just got here a couple of days ago in October. Now that being said, Matt tells you, hey, it's gonna be a few months, plus they've got a lot of business, and he will keep in contact with you, especially if you text and ask questions like I did, and let you know where it's at and what part of the manufacturing process it is. So if you think you're gonna get on his website or his Etsy shop and order one of these and have it there like a week later, that's not gonna happen. But it's no worse than some of the pre-orders. Matter of fact, it's better than most of the pre-orders, and it's worth the absolute wait to get these helmets. I mean, look at that. That's just a thing of beauty. Now, I have to put it right back in the box and tape it up because we're moving here soon, but I cannot wait to get this out and get it displayed on my helmet racks. But yeah, so there you go. Just a quick look at the Turbotank Hovertank Driver helmet from Empire Essenials. If you think you might want one of these or any of the other helmets on their site, I'll link their Etsy shop and their website below. And finally, if you're not a subscriber to the channel, maybe consider doing that for me. That's a great way to support my efforts here at Paul's Collectibles. And if you're already a subscriber or someone who's been watching my videos for a really long time, you already know. I greatly appreciate you. And with that, I'll see you on the next video.